Today, I'm excited to share my mom's apple pie bars. These bars are the perfect fall comfort food and have everything we all love about a classic apple pie, but in a shareable size. You'll get a flaky crust, warm spices, and a delicious drizzle at the end. These bars are baked in a jelly roll pan, and they're so delicious. So let's dive in and make these together. Before we get started, let's talk about the ingredients we need. For the flaky crust, you'll need 3 1/4 cups of unbleached all-purpose flour, 1½ cups of cubed cold butter, 1½ tablespoons of granulated sugar, 1 large egg yolk, be sure to save that egg white for the egg wash, enough milk to make a scant 3/4 cup when combined with the yolk, which would be about 2/3 cup of milk, and a half teaspoon of salt. For that classic apple filling, grab 8 to 10 large tart apples. My go-to varieties are Granny Smith, Honeycrisp, Cosmic Crisp, or Brayburn. You'll also need 1 1/4 cups of granulated sugar, 1½ teaspoons of ground cinnamon, and 3 tablespoons of quick cooking tapioca pearls. I have other options for thickeners, such as flour, cornstarch, or even crushed cereal like my mom always used to use. To see measurements on those, just click on the blog post in the link in the description below. For the egg wash, you'll just need that reserved egg white plus a tablespoon of water. And finally, for the signature drizzle, you'll need 3/4 cup of powdered sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 to 2 tablespoons of milk, and a pinch of salt. We'll start with making the crust. In a large bowl, mix your flour, sugar, and salt. Add the cubed cold butter and toss it to coat. You can use a pastry blender, but I like to use my fingers to flatten out each one of these butter pieces. Once they're all flattened, I continue to use my fingers to break up the butter and evenly distribute it throughout the dough. The crust is intentionally wetter than a traditional pie crust, and that makes it so much easier to shape. I promise this bakes up into the flakiest and most delicious pie crust you've ever had. Once you can't see any large butter pieces and the mix holds together when you squeeze it, you'll add your liquids. Take that separated out egg yolk and place it in a measuring cup. You'll add just enough milk to measure a scant 3/4 cup of total liquid. Stir it up and then pour it into the flour mixture. Mix that gently with a fork or spatula until it starts to come together. The dough is going to feel really wet, and that's exactly right. Divide this into 2 portions, one being slightly larger for the bottom crust. You'll wrap these up and set them aside while we work on the apples. For the filling, you'll need about 2½ to 3 pounds of apples. I love using this crank style peeler when I have a lot of apples to peel. I've linked it and all the tools that I'm using in the description below. Then I use my apple core or slicer and I finish slicing my apples up by hand. To your apples, add the granulated sugar, cinnamon, and quick cooking tapioca pearls. Tapioca gives a smooth, glossy texture and it's my go-to. Toss this to coat evenly and set it aside to roll your crust. Let's assemble these bars, but before you start rolling, just preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. On a well-floured pastry cloth, and I swear by this Bethany house set, you'll roll the larger dough portion into about a scant 12 by 17 inch rectangle to fit the jelly roll pan with a slight overhang. The wetter dough can be sticky, so don't skimp on the flour as you roll it out. Once it's rolled, just dust it lightly with flour and fold it for easier transfer to that 10 by 15 inch jelly roll pan. You'll press the dough gently to fit the pan with an overhang. Just avoid stretching that dough. Spread your apple filling evenly over the bottom crust. Repeat rolling for the second portion of dough and roll it into about an 11 by 16 inch rectangle. Place it over the apple filling. Tuck the top edge under the bottom crust overhang. If there are any portions that are uneven, it's super easy to correct that with this wetter dough. Just pinch some of that crust off and patch it while you mold the crust to form an edge. To flute your crust, you just need to press down on the lip of the pan while you shape the edge. This way, your crust will stay on the lip of the jelly roll pan and it won't sink inside during baking. Your wetter pie crust is the key here to a very workable pie crust. The egg wash is just that reserved egg white whisked with 1 tablespoon of water. Brush this evenly over the top crust for that golden shine. Then you'll grab a sharp knife or a lame to make slashes across the top. This way the steam can escape and it keeps that crust crisp and the filling perfectly cooked. Pop this into your preheated oven and bake for 60 to 70 minutes or until the crust is golden brown and the apples are fork tender. Thinner apple slices might be done sooner, while thicker ones may need the full 70 minutes. Once they're baked, you need to let the bars cool completely on a wire rack, which will be about an hour. For the drizzle, you'll just whisk the confectioner sugar, salt, vanilla extract, and milk in a small bowl. You want to start with about a tablespoon of milk for a thicker drizzle, and you can add more if you need to. If you apply that drizzle while these are warm, it will become more of a glaze and that softens up the top crust. Don't get me wrong, they are still so good, but waiting for the bars to cool completely keeps that crust flaky. Use a spoon or a piping bag to drizzle it over the cooled bars and then let it set before you cut them. That thick, flaky crust, tart apple filling, and just the right touch of sweetness from the drizzle, it's perfection. These bars are so versatile. You can serve them at room temperature, chilled, or warmed up with a scoop of vanilla ice cream for even a more decadent treat. I hope you try this recipe and make it part of your own tradition, and if you do, just let me know in the comments how they turn out. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that bell for more recipes. Thanks guys for watching, happy baking, and I'll see you in the next video.